Um, okay, so welcome everybody to our March meeting. So happy to see so many of you. And we have a nice program today, totally generated by ourselves. We are the presentation and we are the program. And as we have been doing on our Zoom meetings, I wanted to start with a tiny little slideshow of sharing because everybody was taking pictures of their bouquets to art. Not very many people sent me photos to share, so I have a very small slideshow, and then we'll have some announcements. We'll ask officers and committee chairs to announce anything they want to announce. There's a few things I want to talk about, and then we'll go into our program, which, as you know, is Bouquets to Art. And this, it turns out, is the ninth annual Bouquets to Art. So we're pretty excited about that. But with no further ado, let me go to our little tiny March slideshow. You've all been very patient with me as I learn how to do this every month. Um, and usually we have bouquet, arrangements or bouquets, or people show me what they've been growing in their garden. But I didn't get to any of that. So this has sort of an oddball bunch of stuff for March. Um, and I want to start with this wonderful cake, the Ladybug Cake, which Barbara made for Catherine's birthday. I don't think I showed it to you before, but
Oh, that's sweet.
I just think it's so cute. And as many of you know, Catherine has been kind of famous in the club for painting ladybug rocks. And so this cake that Barbara made was in her honor, um, and looks pretty charming, I think.
Adorable.
Good job, Barb.
Yeah.
Um, and I had just had to show my cat because, it's a garden picture. And I thought this was so funny because these are actually just lying down kind of normally. They're not broken or anything. But with the lying down calla lilies and the kind of dead camellias, it looks like Jojo has been on a path of destruction through the garden, whereas really he's just sitting there, but I couldn't resist. I'm not sure why the calla lilies are lying down this year, but there they are. And let's see, my computer's not advancing. Um, and I just got my house painted thanks to Tanya giving me a very good recommendation. And then a friend gave me this hyacinth, which just bloomed a couple of days ago. So I'm subjecting you to that. I think
Pretty.
I, I kind of like that color combination. And then I wanted to share that the herb group met had an outdoor lunch in on the only rainy day in the last 3 months. but but it was the stalwart lunch. You can see how cold it is. Everybody is
Yes.
freezing. And Barbara gave a wonderful little talk about the Ohlone tribes that used to live in this area and still live in this area, and also brought her homemade acorn bread and
Mm.
anise hyssop bread for everyone to taste. And
Cool.
we're at the little cafe next door to West Bray Nursery on Gilman, and it was a very nice location, and a good lunch. So I recommend
Mm.
it. And then you can go to the nursery too. So pretty fun. Anyway, thank you to
Pretty
the
well.
herb group for being
Yeah.
so fun.
That's
Um,
sweet.
I also wanted to announce, if people didn't know it, that the seed library has come into fruition at the El Cerrito Public Library, and Robin, our own Robin, put this together. And a lot of these seed packets are ones that many of you donated at our seed swap at the
That's a good
December
idea.
picnic. So
Mm.
we have a lot to do with the seed library, and also, of course, you can go to the El Cerrito library. The seeds are free. You just help yourself. You can bring some to swap if you want, but I love how they use the old card catalog format here to put the seeds in.
Martha, may I add that we also restocked the seeds at the seed library at the recycling center.
Oh, thanks, Pam.
Yeah, and we're working on putting in more, but they are there also.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. Yeah, very cute. So Sarah sent me two beautiful bouquet pictures. And Sarah, I see that you're on. Can you tell us what this is? What are these? Do you know what this little flower is? I don't recognize that.
You know, honestly, I'm not sure what it is. Like I planted kind of a wildflower mix, or just a mix of flower seeds that somebody sent me, and that was part of it. And I honestly, I don't know what those are.
Okay.
This was a bouquet I made a while ago. These little guys, the little fuzzy ones are bunny tails.
These little guys. Martha, can you ask people to mute, please? We can't hear. Can you ask? We can't hear.
Okay, so we're having some echoing, maybe because of somebody's phone or something. So everybody except Sarah, please mute themselves. Thank you. Let's try again, Sarah.
All right. I'm sorry, I don't know what these little white flowers are. They were just part of a seed mix that somebody sent me. The little fuzzy ones are bunny tails. It's a grass. It's very easy to grow. And then these yellow roses are Julia Child. It's a rose bush named for Julia Child, and it's been very prolific. And so that's what's in there. I don't know, those little white ones, it might be candy tuft.
That's okay. You don't have to be an expert on everything. That's perfectly all right. We enjoy it, and the bunny tails are adorable, and the whole composition is just so cute. And then this one, Wisteria.
Oh, Wisteria.
Yeah, I love Wisteria. Yeah, this is not the ones that I made for this thing, but I just thought it would be fun to include them. This was one I made a while ago. And sometimes it's funny when you look back on something you might be kind of picky about it at the time, but now that I look back on that, I thought, oh, that's really pretty.
Yeah.
So
good.
That's just wisteria. This bark is, I have a Catalina ironwood tree in my backyard that sheds a lot of bark, and that's what this big piece of bark is from. And then I just was able to anchor this up in the vase with those stones.
That's wonderful. Thank you. And then Gillis sent me this gorgeous bouquet from their garden, and I was very impressed that all those things were growing for you guys. Anything you want to say, or we can just?
No, it's just we were having a dinner party, and I realized there was nothing in the middle of the table, so I just wandered around the garden and picked some things that were in bloom. And I was surprised myself how colorful it turned out to be. But it's just tulips, lupins, daffodils, just things in the garden at this point in time.
It looks absolutely professional, absolutely gorgeous. Then I wanted to share this. This is actually from the Unitarian Church in Kensington. And I was there the other night and was impressed by their sunflower altar display. The yellow and blue theme, of course, for Ukraine, which is such a terrible tragedy. And speaking of that, Anna, I wonder if you want to say anything about your friend Julia. We're going to also see her art when we get into the Bouquets to Art, but this is the page that I put on our Facebook page. And this is an open studio that she's having this weekend.
Yeah, she's a lot of people I think have met her. She's just a wonderful person from the Ukraine, and anything she sells right now, the money is going to Ukraine refugees. Her family managed to get out, and they're now in Poland. I don't know about her in-laws. I think they're still, her mother-in-law, I believe, stayed behind. Hopefully is still safe. She's pretty elderly. But anyway, I'm gonna put her website into chat also if people want to look at it. This is in Castro Valley, that she's gonna do this. She's also, if you go on to Facebook, she has a Facebook page that she's putting small pieces of art on every day, that she just puts out art like you can't believe. And she, everything she's selling, she puts a price on it. And again, she doesn't keep any of the money. It all goes directly to, for Ukrainian refugees. She has someone who has donated items to the club for fundraisers, and last fall she donated probably 30 pumpkins for us to decorate, to sell at one of the sales. She grew them and donated them, but she actually even was gonna, when I told her I'd be mentioning it today, she said, oh, should I send something? And I said, no, we're gonna support you this time. But she would have done something for this, because she's always willing to help us out. So I'll put, like I said, I'll put her web address in the chat. So that's it.
Thanks, Anna. And I've also added her website address to our Facebook page. And for those who don't use Facebook, you can go on Facebook without being a member and look at things. And the El Cerrito Garden Club Facebook page is a public page, so you can always look at that page and see what we've posted and like it or comment on it if you want. And just a reminder that our Facebook page link or address or link is always in the newsletter. Robin always puts that in. But also you could just put in El Cerrito Garden Club Facebook and it would probably come right up. It's not.
Excuse me.
It's not very busy. Yeah. Good. Sorry, Anna. Yes. Hi, Mandy. You're muted.
Will the garden club be making a donation to the Ukraine refugees as a group?
Well, no, that hasn't been discussed. We could
Oh.
discuss it at the board meeting. What we were discussing is Anna's friend Julia, who's an artist,
Yes.
and all her art, the proceeds are going to Ukraine, and we could buy
Okay.
her art. Yeah,
Okay.
we
Okay.
haven't
Thank
talked
you.
about that yet. But you could bring it
Okay.
up at the board meeting if you want to come to the board meeting next week.
Okay. Thanks, honey. Thanks.
Yes, good, good.
Okay.
Great, and we'll talk more about Julia's art when we come into the Bouquets to Art, because two people used her paintings as their bouquet, as their.
But do you have a zip code for her address?
Well, it's Castro Valley. Maybe
Well, I know, but
maybe you could Google it. I don't know the zip code of Castro Valley offhand. Maybe somebody can Google that for you. So let's move on to reports and announcements, and maybe we could start, Dorothy, with the treasurer's report, please, if you want to make one. Do you want to unmute yourself, Dorothy?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, now we can't. You muted yourself again.
How's that?
That's better.
Okay. As of February 11th, the total cash is $13,529.01. Any questions, comments?
Thank you for taking such good care of our money. Oh, I will say that Dorothy reminded me this week that we normally make a contribution to the city of El Cerrito for Arbor Week. And Arbor Week is going on right now. It's March 7th through 14th. And so we have sent our usual contribution to the city of El Cerrito for Arbor Day or Arbor Week. Also, let me announce now that the city is having a volunteer day, as they did last year, up at the Memorial Grove on Schmidt Lane. And it's a tree mulching party from 10 to 12:30. Last year, Clark and Lemural and I were there, and Robin and Howdy, but anyone is welcome. It's kind of uneven terrain, so it's not super easy to walk around, but the work isn't too heavy. What we're doing is spreading bark mulch around the trees that are up there to try to help them withstand the drought. And it's part of Stephen, the arborist's plan to try to keep the trees in the Memorial Grove healthy in spite of all of the bad conditions that we're having. So this Sunday from 10 to 12:30 up at the Memorial Grove, if anybody wants to come and help a little bit, that would be great.
I'm sorry, Martha, the time again? What time does it start?
10 to 12:30.
10 to 12:30. Thank you.
And Stephen, the arborist, had asked that people RSVP to him, but I think it would also be fine to just show up or RSVP to Robin. That's my opinion. Oh, Anna, thank you. Mary Mashuda, the zip code in Castro Valley is 94546. Okay, let's have other reports. Landry, I'm hoping we can have a program report, maybe about the next few months or about the needing a new program committee or whatever you want to talk about.
Okay, well, to start, today is such an exciting day because it's so member generated. Our next program for April is also very member generated. In fact, it's the geniuses inside our club who are making our April presentation. So we are going to be having a presentation from Pam Austin, from Joyce Hennessy, and from Kate Steinel. Everything from flowers to gophers. So we're really excited to have these resident experts to present for everybody. And I'm sorry, somebody's not muted. So.
Joanne looks at me like I said,
Ah.
this is not her day.
Okay.
Thank you. And so, there are these two themes weaving through this year: nature and the climate on the one hand, and geniuses among us on the other. And next month, of course, is going to be our garden tour. So I want to encourage everybody, get out your cameras, go outside, start photographing things as they pop in your garden. And you can cherry pick because, if you just want to send a gorgeous plant that you happen to have that looks wonderful right now, that's fine. If you'd like to send a lot of views of all parts of your garden, that's also really fine. We welcome however you want to participate. But you have a couple of months to start those pictures and keep them running. So that's it for the next couple of months of program. And then I want to ask people, really, I'm interested in leaving this post. I'm looking for a replacement. I'm really looking for a program committee chair who, of course, there is a function of vice president, but I have to tell you, don't be intimidated by that. It's not a big deal. And I will participate in the committee. I'm happy to lend experience and all that, but I really need somebody else to carry this for the next year so that I can work on closing out my business. So if that's something you can, I'll give me a year off from being an officer, I would really appreciate it. So I'm looking for someone to volunteer. I don't want to organize the first meeting of the committee for next year if I'm not the chair. So I'm hoping that we come up with a chair who can start the committee meetings, if that would work for everybody. Yes, Martha?
I believe we might have a volunteer, and
Yes.
that person might confirm in the meeting, or maybe too shy to do so.
That would be great.
I'm willing to volunteer.
Oh, Gillis, I'm so happy. Thank
the-
you.
Now, the one difficulty is Ruth and I, not having been able to travel for the last 2 years, are now about to go on a long trip.
Oh, yes. When is your long trip?
We're going to France and Italy and to England. So we won't be back until mid-May. So the first committee meeting
Oh.
we'd be able to organize would be in the second half of May, if that would be.
So would you like me to start a group meeting for ideas and get
Yeah, I mean, we're going away on the 6th of April, so we could have a Zoom meeting ahead of time, or I can organize a get together in the latter half of May. So it depends exactly when you would like to transition, or if someone else has to volunteer.
I'll tell you, it really depends on you, because I had my first year, I started in July. It's not a recommended way to go. It was very hard to get a program put together for that year. And the next time I did it, I started meeting with people like in April.
Yeah, so we could try maybe and have a Zoom.
Late March or, yeah, a Zoom, yeah. Oh, wait a minute.
Or at the end of this month or beginning of April.
I'm not asking you to run a meeting from Europe. That would be asking a lot.
Yeah,
So
no, but we're leaving on the 6th of April. We're not back until the 13th of May, basically.
yes.
No, in other words, the first week, he's saying the first week.
So
in
we
April.
could do some kind of Zoom meeting in the first week of April, or we could wait until the latter half.
Would that suit everybody?
I think this conversation needs to be more private
Yeah.
first, and then an announcement made, just so details can be worked out.
And an announcement in the Times, of course.
Yes. So
Yes.
let's leave it. Thank you so much, Gillis. But let's leave
Yes.
it with we need volunteers to be on the program committee. People that have been on it in the past can certainly stay on it, but anyone interested in being part of the programs for the future should let I guess me or Landry or Gillis know that they want to be on the committee, and we can talk more about this later. But that's terrific. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And speaking of officer positions, I've been the president for a long time. And I welcome anyone who wants to volunteer to take over, but I am willing to stay on, but anyone who would like to be the president, let me know. I'll leave it at that. All right, fantastic. Another thing I want to just briefly talk about, I don't want to have a long discussion about this yet, is whether we should consider meeting at the community center again in September, and whether next year's meetings are going to be regular meetings at the community center. And I know there's a lot to discuss about that, and I know that it will depend a little bit on waves of COVID or whatever happens, but I would just like to see a show of hands of people that would like to be back at the community center starting as soon as September, if we can do it. So let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so quite a few, 14, 15, 16, it looks like at least 20. And there may be a possibility of some kind of hybrid where the programs are also on Zoom, but that the speaker is both in person, and I don't know how to work that out. But I just wanted to gauge interest right now, and we'll talk more about it. I think we'll have something in the newsletter where people can express their opinion also, and we'll also talk about it at the board meeting, but not have a long discussion right now. But Fong?
Just something quickly. Can you find out the community center, how well ventilated they are?
Well, they have lots of doors and windows.
Yeah, we could all open.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we'll talk more about the details. I just wanted to find out if people were starting to get interested in that. So thank you for that show of hands. That's terrific. Other committee reports. Louise.
Martha?
Louise.
Yes. I'm the chairperson of the Sundar Shadi Front Yard Garden Award. Nominations are now open. We'd like members and members of the community to go through El Cerrito and find beautiful front yard gardens. The things that we're looking for is curb appeal, the overall design, if there's a theme to the garden, does the garden go well with the house? Does it use the shape of the yard? Are there any unique features? What is the color palette? Is it drought tolerant? So in this wonderful time of the year, things are blooming, and being in California, we have early spring. So front yard gardens are really beautiful right now. And the nominations are only for front yards and the strip along the street, and must be in the city of El Cerrito. They cannot be a member of the El Cerrito Garden Club, and they cannot have won the Sundar Shadi Award within the last 10 years. So there's plenty of gardens out there. Start looking. The deadline for submission is April 15th, which you should know is a landmark day for taxes and Sundar Shadi, both due at the same time. You can send those nominations to me via email. We'd like the name, the address of the garden, the nearest cross street, and a comment from you about the garden that you're nominating. Currently, I have on the committee Linda Raxel, Bernadette, Fong, Molly, Eileen, Martha, Lamerrill, Clark, and Landry. And your main job as members of the committee are to work as judges. So if anybody who's on needs to come off, let me know. And if anybody who is not on the committee would like to join us, also let me know. And I'll put my email in the chat. Thank you. Looking forward to nominations. Yes.
If okay, the house that I want to nominate for example, do I have to tell the owner first?
No,
Okay.
you don't tell the owner, you only tell me, or you tell the committee, and we will notify the owners via snail mail letters that we are looking at their gardens.
Yep,
Thank you.
I just want to add that the committee is not in charge, as Louise implied, of all the nominations, only of the judging, so that everyone should nominate. Everyone should walk or drive around El Cerrito within the city limits, look at stuff, and let Louise know a wonderful address, and then the judges will take it from there. So, and all these details are also in the newsletter, last month's newsletter, this month's newsletter.
And I will post them again in the next newsletter. So keep get out there and look at beautiful gardens and enjoy. Thank you.
Thanks, Louise. You're a wonderful chairperson. Other committee reports, if any? Anybody want to report on anything? I'm not going to necessarily call on you. Anna.
The succulent group, we're going to have a meeting next Thursday, the 17th, St. Patrick's Day, at my house from 1 to 3 to, we're pretty sure we can still put some stuff together for the April sale. So everybody is welcome. Just let me know that you want to come. We'll have soil mix and, just to bring cuttings, pots, whatever you want to work on.
Great, thanks, Anna. And that brings us over to the plant sale, which is coming up pretty quickly, April 23rd. There's still time to, divide something or propagate something, or maybe even sow some seeds, or just pick something off your deck that you're tired of and spiff it up a little bit and sell it. Why not? We have 3 locations. Thank you so much to the volunteer hosts. Louise's house in the Richmond Annex, Landry's house in Central El Cerrito, and Fong's house in North Berkeley. And all of those locations need volunteers. So please volunteer with Landry or Louise or Fong to help before the sale, or the day of the sale, during the sale, or after the sale. Volunteers are really, really necessary for this. And even just a couple of hours of sitting at the cash box or helping to put on some price tags would be really appreciated. So please contact the individual homeowners and volunteer your time. Fong?
To entice volunteers to my house, you will get an boba ice cream.
That sounds very nice. Thank you. So as of right now, we're thinking of 10 to 2 on that day. The individual homeowners could choose to be from 10 to 3 if they want, but Landry said 10 to 2, and that seems fine with me. We will need publicity around the plant sale. Bonnie Mack usually puts things onto Nextdoor and in different places, but please, any way that you guys can also publicize it would be really great. We also, I think, should have signs at each location. So someone who is kind of artistic or wants to channel their inner kindergarten teacher, volunteer to make some poster board signs about the sale that can be kind of, near each house, maybe at the corner, something to publicize it. So that's what I think about the sale. In terms of dropping off plants for the sale, that will also be up to the individual homeowner, whether you can drop it off a few days before the sale or only on the Friday, or however people want to do it. So closer to the time, we'll talk more about those details. So thank you all for, I know you're all busily sewing and propagating and fixing things up for the sale. In the past, that's just been a wonderful event for us. So April 23rd, good. Other announcements or study group reports or committee reports? Other officers want to say anything? I don't see any signs of that. If not, then I think we might go into our program, our Bouquets to Art program. And the people that had sent me arrangements for the program, I sent you the order that the slides are in, just so that you would know when your piece might come up. And please say something about your art or about the arrangement if you want. You don't have to. But it's, we're not judging it in any way. It's not a judging, but we just really look forward to seeing everybody's work. And I don't know, Barbara, if you want to give a little history about Bouquets to Art in general, or anything like that, but we will just get started.
Well, I would like to say, here's Bob's picture. He sort of emceed it for 8 years. And we'll miss him doing that, but we'll be all right. And I'm very happy that so many people are participating. Next year will be our 10th, and we need to keep moving toward that.
Thank you, Barb. Yes. Bob and Barbara together have been wonderful hosts of this event in the past, and they both have had extensive experience with judging. You both were official flower show judges. Barbara, do you want to say anything about that? And therefore, when you looked at the arrangements, Bob always had some nice thing to say about the line or the color or how it went in some way. And I think this year we're going to be less official than that, but we certainly will miss Bob's kind remarks about our little offerings in the past. He always found something very positive to say about each effort, which was very sweet. So.
Okay.
Oh, and what about the drawing, Barbara? Did you want to do that before or after?
I think after.
Okay. So just a reminder that Barbara has donated money to the club to have a participants award in Bob's name, the Bob Post Memorial, and we have everybody who submitted a design to me. I have in the Barbara has them in their names in a hat, in Bob's own hat, and at the end of our slideshow she will draw 2 names who will win a little prize. So, and it's just for participation, not any kind of judgment. So, Bouquets to Art, here we go.
Oh, start with me, because I got started in January. I could not wait. And I must tell you that this really helped me along at a rough time doing these arrangements. So that's why there's so many. I kept making them. I had a few bunches of flowers from Trader Joe, and then I looked for art that I collect. And this art is, I do a lot of calendar art, so it's practically free art, but I love it. And this is St. George Kills the Dragon. He didn't kill the dragon with roses and calla lily, but that's what's in the vase. And you can see the line going down to what looks like the dead dragon. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay. Well, I'll just say as an amateur onlooker that, people can see that, this white calla lily kind of echoes the white head of the horse, and the white flowers here sort of echo the horse. And I mean, it's pretty fabulous, Barb. That's
Thank you.
All right, Van Eyck.
This is one of my favorites. This is Van Eyck's Arnolfo Fini wedding portrait. And I just loved her. I mean, she looks pregnant, but I don't know if it's their wedding portrait or not, but I had this beautiful silk scarf that I bought from the garden club, the green, and I used it to showcase her. And then the redness of the material here and here is in the carnations. It's very simple. And then these are seeded eucalyptus that came out of a bouquet of sympathy for Bob. So I was happy to use those. And it's in a container made out of stretched glass, I guess you could say. It's hard to see it, but it's multicolored. And so it picks up everything in the artist's picture. Want to add anything, Martha?
Well, I'll just say it's amazing that that scarf is exactly the same color as her dress.
Yes.
I mean, that's just amazing. And also, when I looked at it, I noticed this sort of iridescent wonderfulness of the glass container, and to me, it sort of echoed the mirror
Right.
in the painting. I mean, you know, it's wonderful.
Thank you.
Love it. Love it. All right.
Okay, and then moving along, I had painted a picture of the quail who started coming to my garden in the spring about 3 years ago. And they have returned every year. Last year we had 2 main quail families, and I just love them. So this is a painting that Catherine Frost helped me to paint. And then these are, let's see, I wrote everything down.
They're globe allium or giant.
I have Catherine here to help me.
Hi, Catherine.
She does not want to be visible, I think. It's called Allium Schubertii, this plant. And I grew it about 4 years ago, and it only came up once, but I saved the blooms and spray painted them. I've used them a couple of times. I brought them to the district meeting, and I just still love them. I have them. And in it are some hydrangeas that came out of a bouquet that I had. And trying to paint it Allium Schubertii. That's about it. So I'm hoping to see the quail this year. What was his name? The thrasher, who does not belong here, who flew in 3 years ago when there were a lot of fires in the Sierras, and he's visited us every year, and he's back again this year. You know, so it's wonderful having birds in your garden. That's it.
I love it, and had no idea that you were a painter, Barbara. So I'm very impressed that Catherine's talent has
Yes.
spread out and encouraged you. Thank you.
What's next? Okay.
Okay.
This is another calendar art. And on the calendar, it says, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, about tea. So that's from a calendar. And I happen to have this from the plant table, I think. And it's sitting on a metal table. And this is a woven New Zealand flax that's been painted. Let's see. This is a custom-made container from my friends in New Jersey. He built it for me. It's wood, and I think he used the app where you can do things from your computer, and he made that from that. Put the black stones in it, and there's a pin holder in it. So I made it very simple, because simplicity is the art of the ultimate sophistication. And you'll notice I have backgrounds. They really help. You can buy them at Michael's or at Staples. You could buy one and have it to put behind every time you want to show a arrangement.
It does really help to get a more clear photo. I've had a lot of trouble in my cluttered house finding a bare wall that I could use as a background. So that idea, Barb, is really a good one. That's great. Okay, I actually have 2 slides of this because I wanted a close-up of the...
This is a Noah's Ark. The art is here from Indonesia. And inside each of these cabinets here are hand sculpted wood animals. And I'm really very fond of it. And these I was having trouble remembering who they are, but I think they're hedgehogs.
I think they're armadillos.
Oh, armadillos. Okay. You're right. I forgot. And they're made in Mexico. And I got them on one of the cruises along the Mexican coast. And then I had some lilies and some more of the seeded eucalyptus. And it's pretty simple, just some lilies.
It's wonderful. All right, here's your favorite.
Oh, 1 minute. Okay. Got a lot of papers here. The art is a design of a miniature table setting, which won me a blue ribbon at a Marin County fair show. I love making the miniatures. I mean, this is one piece of eucalyptus as the plate, and then some moss on it as the food. And these little tiny creatures here. And anyway, I keep it forever. I love it. And this is the design that I made to go with it. It's rather rugged looking. It's a piece of saguaro cactus, which I got in, I can't remember, in the West when I was at a symposium for flower show judges. And a piece of this nice fern, I can't remember the name, a piece of, help me.
I can't help you.
I need
Okay. We don't, you don't
Pussy
have to-
willow, I'm sorry. Pussy willow that I picked up in the store. It was from Japan. I thought that was very interesting. We don't have our own pussy willows yet, but Japan did. And this is from an arrangement that I had. I don't know the name of it. And over here is a little bird's nest. And coming out of saguaro and a miniature wheelbarrow. So that's this one.
Super fun.
Want to add anything, Martha?
You're just that I would like to be at that picnic. It's so
Yeah, me too.
all right.
Okay. You can see I have lots of papers to deal with, so please bear with me. Do you want this one too? The kids? Yeah. Thank you. Catherine's here to help me. Okay, this is a Klimt calendar that I bought just for the beauty of it. And this is a page called The Kiss. And I have used roses and a silk scarf at the bottom, which I thought tied in with this part of the painting, this scarf. And this is in a very small container, and it's filled with roses and lilies, and a calla lily to pick up the white, and a little more black to pick up whatever that was. And that's how I have fun doing bouquets to art in my house.
I think it's amazing that that scarf on the table is almost exactly the pattern of the Klimt. I mean, that's really,
I collect many things. I collect scarves.
it's beautiful. One of my favorite paintings too.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, this is from an artist friend of mine in New Jersey who I just got in touch with again. I don't see it here. I don't have it.
It's on the screen.
Anyway, Frank Gubernet is the artist, and he is his wife is in a nursing home, and he is trying to settle his artwork and sell some of it. But I got there too late to buy it, so he mailed me a whole collection of his art that he photographed, and it's a beautiful painting. So I used a special container, which mimics the black of the background, and some painted wood. And these are thistles, plus a little wildflower that's growing in my yard all over now. Do you all have it? Comes up about 3 feet tall. I don't know what it is.
I don't know the name of it. And Diane was the photographer. She was the photographer for many of them, as was my daughter Liz. They are really good with their cameras.
Yes, we appreciate.
Thank you, Sarah.
We appreciate that.
Okay, the next one, thank goodness we found this. It's featuring the art is the cookbook. This is a cookbook that the Herb Group sold and put together for the Garden Club. They've all been sold, unfortunately, we don't have any more. And this is a towel that I found that matches the pictures that we have. And in the vase behind it, I have these daisy mums, I think they are, carnations, a lily, and picking up the blue thistle, I think it is.
Erigium.
So that was our project about 8 years ago, maybe 10, I can't remember.
Might be time to do a new one. We should think about that.
It would be nice if somebody would like to do it. I could tell them how to do it and they could collect all the recipes. That's the hard part.
Yeah, exactly. That's so cute. Okay.
Oh, and this one is very special. That's Catherine Frost's painting. She did it a number of years ago. And I staged the design on a large piece of soft bark that someone gave me in the garden club. And I'm sorry, I don't remember who you are, but I love this very soft. Oh, Robin's going to help with a cookbook. Great.
Yay. Thank you, Robin.
So this is made in a Japanese container. And I have put some of the bark inside to make this straight edge. And these are very old painted pieces of bird of paradise. And I just have a little thistle in here to pick up this, and carnation, and some more of these thistles. And I went to a store, I have to tell you, I don't know if you all know the China Kitchen on Appian Way in El Cerrito, but right next door to it is a tiny door that opens up into a very lovely fabric store. And if any of you are looking for silk fabric, boy, she has it. But all I bought from her this time was a half a yard of this netting, which I thought picked up what I thought was netting in here. It is netting. It is netting. And then the sticks there are some sticks in here, so I put some of those in. So I had a lot of fun doing that one. The fabric store in El Cerrito, just go to China Kitchen and next door. I don't know the name of it, I'm sorry.
Wonderful.
It's mostly Asian. And the fabric, a lot of silks. I'm almost tempted to sew again.
And the painting, Catherine, is really wonderful.
And Catherine is here looking in on us.
Yes.
Writing.
Her beautiful painting. I love it.
Well, stick your face in.
Sure, we can see her.
Okay, good.
Yes. All right. So
This
another
one
joint.
is another calendar art. And Catherine and I actually did this one together. And it's called, what's it called? I don't know, it was just a mountain scene. And we went looking around to see what I had. And I had these two big burls. I've had them for many years. And we put them together to simulate this very high mountain. And I had some yellow mums to pick up these lovely flowers in the front. And a little pink cloud here. Yes. Oh, and I used the green scarf again to imitate this part of it. That was fun doing, wasn't it? Yeah. We had a good time.
That's a good idea to collaborate like that. I love
That's fun. Oh, and now here's Catherine's own art. Tell us about it.
It's Oxalis and Azaleas.
She took the humble Oxalis blossoms, who everybody thinks are terrible, and they are so beautiful as little flowers. And they worked very well in here with an azalea blossom. And she has some lovely twigs, like in the painting. The title is Spring is Here, and my meadowlark is very happy. Did you paint this?
No.
No, okay. Painting she had.
It's beautiful. It's very springy.
Oh, it was her mother-in-law's.
Oh.
Okay, now we go on to some more different people.
Okay, Bonnie Mack. So Bonnie, I just copied what you wrote in your email, but anything you want to say is welcome. Are you
I'm
unmuting
here.
yourself? Good.
I'm here. I'm very proud of my granddaughter. She did this painting when she was in kindergarten. Wow. And she's now a freshman at UC Santa Barbara. Her name is Claire Tomiko Osawa, just in case she ever gets famous. The vase belonged to her great-grandmother, Mackenzie, my mother. And the flowers are from my garden. Western redbud, rosemary, geranium blossoms, white alstroemeria, and the sprig of a shrub whose name I don't remember. I just can't remember it. They're both the vase and Tomi's painting are very precious things to me. And so this was a good opportunity to make a memento. That's all.
Beautiful, Bonnie. Thanks. And I just want to say, often we just have, a table or a placemat or something under our design, but I think that this little woven thing that you chose under your vase really picks up all these colors around the flowers in Tomi's painting. So I loved that. Simple, but beautiful. Okay, Louise. So Louise, there's 4 or 5 in a row here, and you just can tell me when you're ready for me to go to the next one.
Okay. I wanted to use something that was very sentimental. The little bowl was from my grandmother, who died when I was 6. And it came from her ranch, which was in Zamora, California, which is right outside of Woodland. So I've had these little set of these little fruit bowls for many years, and suddenly realized that I had all the colors to reflect the little bowls. And I've used hydrangeas, asters, heather, and a little rosemary. So if you came and saw the arrangement nearby, you would also get a nice fragrance. And I used just a glass kind of bowl-shaped urn, and in order to get the flowers to stay, I put Scotch tape in 2 different directions, making a grid, and that holds the flowers in.
That's a good technique tip.
Yes.
That's great.
Okay.
Love those colors. Okay.
This is a porcelain tile that I got at Abrams Cleghorn Gallery, which is one of my favorite places to shop. It's at the corner of Solano and Masonic. And I believe he has hours right now from Thursday through Sunday, and I highly recommend that you go browsing there. So it's a small little plaque that I had hanging in my kitchen, and I wanted to pick up the theme of the spoon. So I used a whole bunch of different spoons in my arrangement and just sort of made it an abstract with spoons. And there's 5 or 6 different kinds of spoons: a slotted spoon, a soup spoon, a teaspoon, iced teaspoon, and a tablespoon.
I love that. And as you can see, we couldn't decide if the tile being vertical or horizontal made a better picture, so we took 2. I think they're both good.
This is a sentimental tile that was given to me by a very dear cousin. When she traveled to Egypt, she brought back this good luck tile, and I've had it behind my stovetop, and suddenly realized that it would make an interesting subject for our bouquets to art. So prosperity, life, and health, And I used the New Zealand flax to make some shapes, and the jade plant, which always holds things together. The purple nightshade to represent the color of the health. And the spike, which got lost at the top, is another piece of New Zealand flax. And then one little carnation that I thought just added a little spark to go with the background of the tile. And the vase is black to go with the border of the tile. So to Jean Kempf, who brought me this lovely tile in her memory, I made this arrangement.
I didn't notice this when we were taking the pictures, Louise, but the brown tabletop also goes with the brown base of the tile.
Yes, yes, it does.
Wonderful.
And thanks to Martha for taking these photographs for me.
Well, yes, and cutting off the top of your.
This is another artwork by the same one who did the spoon. I have quite a collection of her porcelain tiles. I just love her work. Being a cat person, I decided I would use a very simple arrangement of the Gerber daisies and just some little fern-like extensions that represent the cat's whiskers. So just red and white and a little accent of green to hold my flowers together. So this is a arrangement dedicated to my great cat, Grady.
Nice whiskers.
This is another tile that was behind my stovetop that I've had for many years, and suddenly realized that if I wiped the grease off of it, I could use it for my arrangement. So I picked up a bouquet from Trader Joe's, and in that bouquet were these two amazing cymbidiums in their own little plastic water containers. So the two cymbidiums represent the two geese, and I used some of the stems of my nightshade to make the circular shape that's in the picture with the geese. And then a little bit of the dark nightshade color just to kind of fill in. So those are my geese, two geese in a vase. There's also some mint in there. I like to add fragrant flowers or leaves to my arrangements. So when you walk by, you have a nice fragrance.
Very nice. Thanks, Louise. I appreciate it. All your different ones. So Marilyn sent me the photo of her arrangement a couple months ago, and then sent me the beautiful card that inspired it. So Marilyn, I wrote that it was decorative kale and salvia and maybe pine. But do you want to say anything?
Oh, that's all accurate. So, yeah, it's taken in my backyard on top of a table with a bluish purple tablecloth to enhance the lavender colors. And I think you covered all the, there is, I think it's a Monterey pine, possibly, with the flowers. And I was just lucky that the decorative kale happened to be blooming at that time. And had a good excuse to, be.
The color combination is wonderful. Yeah. It's a really, how the kale and the salvias and the, I guess, rosemary, they all echo each other. It's beautiful. Thank you, Marilyn. Your backyard table really has had some fantastic arrangements on it. Thank you very much. Marianne.
Well, I've always loved this painting. It's by a woman in Bend, who happens to be a friend of the woman who made the potter who made the container. And I knew I wanted to use the painting, but it wasn't until a friend brought me these beautiful flowers, the yellow flowers, lilies, that I decided they were perfect for matching the color of the bushes. And I added a little bit of ceanothus with blue flowers in the back to reflect the dark trees in the back and the water. And voila.
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 Yeah, the painting is beautiful, and so is the arrangement. Wonderful. I love how you have the little bits of red in here, and of course the red in the painting. It's lovely, lovely.
Thank you.
Okay, Laura, I hope you're here. I loved the.
Hi there.
Oh, hi.
So this is Setting Sun in the Sacramento Valley. It's by one of my favorite artists, Chiura Obata. He was a Japanese artist that lived from 1885 to 1975. And this was one of his World Landscape series. And it was a project that took 18 months. They did about 30 different images, 35 compositions. And they had 32 carvers and 40 printers that did this on special paper. And they did 400 of each print.
Garden closing, that's fine, come on in.
And then ended up destroying 300 of them, only preserved the 100 best of these. And the materials are from my garden, and they're bird of paradise and Revalia superb that has that incredibly beautiful kind of salmon color, and then Nandina. And then the container, which is a Moribana Ikebana container, is to represent the water with the blue color and the reflection off of the painting as well. And hope you like it.
Yeah, the container, the rectangular dark blue container is exactly the water. That's just amazing, Laura.
Thank you.
And again, people can see, just like Barbara, Laura has this wonderful backdrop that makes it easy to photograph her beautiful design. That painting is spectacular, and so is your very, very wonderful arrangement. Very, I'm at a loss for words. It's so dramatic. Thank you, Laura. I'm so glad. Wonderful. Paula, I don't think is here today. Speak up if you are, Paula. But she sent this. She said her late mother-in-law painted the painting, and she liked to copy Fauvist artists' paintings, and so this might be a copy of a famous painting. I don't know. And the flowers, she says, are Nasturtium cymbidiums, Dendrobium kingianum, and freesias. Wonderful. Thank you, Paula. I wish you would come to meetings. I miss you. Sylvia sent this beautiful arrangement. Sylvia, do you want to say anything? You don't have to, but I love the colors.
Okay, I will. My husband had a collection of sailing ships, big masted sailing ships. And when I saw these vases, I just thought of the wind that kept those sails billowing. And I use it frequently with the ships. This combination, I should have copied everything. I know I put a tulip in there, and I had so much fun figuring out what other things I would use. I just went around the yard at a field near us and collected the other bits of flowers. I've just lost it for a moment, what,
That's all right.
what they were all called. Anyway, that's my contribution and a tribute to my husband's collection.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And then of course the blue backdrop is wonderful ocean for this for the ships to be sailing on. It's very evocative.
Thank you.
Those faces are spectacular.
Yes,
Really,
thank you.
so such interesting shapes. Thank you, Sylvia. Okay, Anna. So this is one of the art pieces by Julia, the artist.
Yes, this is one of my favorites. I don't have the background right here, but it's the wall that it's on. It's actually perfect for. And I wanted to honor her in lieu of everything that's happening in the Ukraine. I had done this the first time I did this. I had a really lovely black art vase that the flowers could go in. Unfortunately, I had it outside and everything got knocked over in one little bit of wind. So started over, and the black that's underneath is actually one of her t-shirts. You can't see what it looks like. The front of it has got a beautiful design that she had done, but I did use her t-shirt for this. I picked blue carnations, and then I used, I wanted things from my yard. So for the purple, I used some lavender and the aloe flower. And then the carex, of course I can't point, the strips are the carex grass, and it's actually got some of the orange in there, which you can't see as well with the picture, but it's just a really lovely grass. And then the baby's breath for some of the white. But so I had fun, and it's one of my favorite paintings. And then that's just in a little frog that my gardening friend from Maryland sent me. That's it.
Wonderful. Thanks, Anna. That's an exciting painting. All right, and another of Julia's works, Tanya, do you want to say anything? Those flowers are really
Sure, I would just, sometimes in the news we get horrible news and it makes you feel so helpless to not do anything. So it's like I felt really positive about buying some of Julia's art to support her and the Ukrainian refugees. And this lady, Julia, is not afraid to use color. And of course, the Ukrainian, the sunflowers, their national flower. So I was glad that Martha went out and did that one. But I just went into my garden and I tried to pick colors that were in her painting, which is such a riot of color and inspiration. So that's all.
well. I think you did perfectly matching the colors, and also, do you really have all those flowers in your garden? That's really so.
That's just a small sample of the palette. Everything is going gangbusters. So it's pretty.
Absolutely stunning, gorgeous. Thank you. And I loved that painting by Julia. Also, that should be a garden club poster. That's so flowery. This is mine, I guess. Yeah, so not too elaborate. This is one of the dolls that I have from South Africa. I've got quite a few of them. I noticed that the camellias, to me, kind of match that red color of her, the top of her outfit. And actually, this was just before my house was going to be painted, and I thought that the painters were probably going to knock down all the camellias. So I had to make it kind of at the last minute like that. But after I took the picture, I didn't do this on purpose, I kind of noticed that the vase, the handle of the vase kind of echoed the curve of her arms, and I don't know. So, but the red, white, and blue to me was sort of evocative of her. So that's one of the dolls I've got from South Africa. I should have put in some pink, but I didn't think of it. And then this one I did this morning, actually. I was telling Barbara that I had seen these Veronica flowers at Trader Joe's, and it made me think of this photo of the canoes. But once I once I put them in the vase, they didn't look like I thought they were going to look. But I'm still kind of happy with it. So the photo is Beverly Anderson and a limited edition that I inherited from a dear friend who passed away, and it's very special to me. I haven't found a place to hang it in my house yet. I just have it sort of leaning against the wall in my bedroom, but I guess these are, I don't know why I thought they were purple, but these seem kind of purpley to me. And then this red thing, and I don't know what kind of a plant that is, to me was sort of echoed this one red canoe. So, and I guess the weaving on the rattan stool, the little circles, I guess could be these little circles on the canoe if I were really pushed to say why I chose that stool. All right, Eileen sent this, and Eileen, I just copied everything you wrote, but please say, if you're still here, whatever you would like to say. It's very colorful. Maybe Eileen isn't here, or maybe she hasn't unmuted herself. This is a painting by.
I'm here. I just don't know how to get.
Oh, nope. Do it again. Nope, you're muted. You can hold the space bar down, or you can touch your microphone. There you go.
There I am.
There you are.
Okay. There you go. I was so hoping the Cotinus purpurea would be blooming because it has these wonderful golden tiny bits in the middle, pistil stamen style arrangement. Anyway, this is a watercolor painting that I did when we could still do models in studios. And it was a very, very difficult model. And we were either annoyed with her and left, or I said, I'm not going to let her stop me from making a painting. So that's the painting. And my granddaughter picked these Brugmansias for us. She's 4. And yeah, those. And so anyway, that looked like the skin color, and those crocosmias that we all have, whether we want them or not. The hummingbirds like them, but I chop them when I can to keep them from making seeds and more. And the hellebores are going wonderfully well. Over there, hellebores here, and then the cotinus and the blue ceanothus for her eyeshadow, which I put on. She didn't have it on. And of course, the calla lilies. So there you are. This is my Thanksgiving platter for this dress and the white. And then these little, those I saved from Louise's wonderful show. So to echo the frame. So anyway, that's it. Yeah. And the background is an extra curtain.
Oh, good idea. Yeah. Wonderful. I love that painting. That's great.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you for the art. So this is smoke tree, isn't it?
Yeah, smoke bush. The smoke bush. Yeah. When I grew up in Maryland, so reading material in the winter was catalogs from California, I think, or somewhere. But anyway, that I fell in love with that plant. So when I moved here, I planted one, and the deer keep jumping on it. So it's a very odd shape. And the hellebores I just adore. And I got one for a friend of mine, which prompted Home Depot actually has them. Trader Joe's had them last year, but not this year. But they're blooming. And the color, I went around looking for that background color, which nothing in my garden was, but close enough.
Yeah.
And that's a word picture of the painting because of the glare on the plexi, but it's good enough.
It's wonderful. Yeah.
Thank
Thank you. It's a wonderful combination. Very unusual. I like it. I like it. All right.
It's yours.
Thank you. Sarah sent me this photo of a. Are you with us, Sarah? Do you want to say anything? I said that the image was a photo of a quilt from a book.
Yeah, this is a book of art from Southern African American artists, and I just I love this quilt, and I love the colors and so I just went out and saw what I could put together. This the leucadendron actually is from Mallory brought this down to me, and I'm supposed to be propagating it, but I keep using it in arrangements, but I'm going to try to propagate it soon. And I just, the quilt, there's a little bit of a glare on it. You can't see it quite as well, but the greens were just, I went out and got the nasturtium leaves, and this is the first bloom off of this particular, this is a new Peruvian lily for me that I got from somebody else, and it's finally starting to bloom. That was the first bloom. And then this is Forsythia. I had to think a minute to remember that. I went to visit my sister last weekend, and she had this Forsythia in her front yard, and it was just barely coming into bloom. So been on my kitchen counter now for a week and coming into bloom, which has really been fun. So it's funny how all these different little elements come together. This is a vase I got years ago at a funny kind of pawn shop. My husband loves to stop at pawn shops because he always he's looking for musical instruments. And so I happened to get 2 of these vases there at that pawn shop, and I've had them around forever. So don't ever tell me to get rid of my stuff, because I delve into it and I find things to work with, which is really fun. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Barbara, for making us, inspiring us, and giving us that gentle push to make our creations.
That's stunning. All of it.
The photo, I mean, the vase, exactly the colors of the quilt and the flowers is really wonderful, Sarah. So, and the shape of the Forsythia, it's just amazing. Thank you. Beautiful. Okay, Joyce. Now Joyce actually sent me 3 photos and told me to choose the one I wanted, but I put in all 3. So this is the first one, and they're all with the same piece of art, but each one has different plant material. So Joyce, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I did something a little different. It pains me to cut a flower. So I did the opposite, and I took the artwork out into the garden and fitted in with different flowers that now continue to live. And this is, you all know that I love model trains and real trains. So this is the promontory, the one of the most important parts of our history is the connecting of the 2 sides of our continent by the Transcontinental Railroad. And this plaque is something that celebrates that event. So there's leucadendrons, pick up the red in the train. And the leucadendrons were a gift to me from, oh, wait a minute, those aren't leucadendrons. Well, somebody knows what they are. And they were a gift to my husband and I for our wedding from a good friend. And and those turquoise rocks kind of reflected the bluish if you kind of combine it with the green. So anyway, next one,
All right.
please. These are Tahiti daffodils. They're my favorite daffodils. They're to me, they're just beautiful. And the yellow mixed with the orange reminded me of the title part of the plaque, the gold spike at Promontory, Utah. And then the last one.
Oh, well, I just want to say about the daffodils that I thought the upright yellow daffodils were the gold spikes. I mean, that's perfect too.
Oh, yes. I didn't even think of that, but that makes sense.
There you
Yes.
go. All right. And this one.
This one I think is my favorite. Those are miniature snapdragons and miniature tulips, and they reflect the red and the purple of the background, and the anyway, that's my contribution.
I like the idea of taking the art out into the garden. You might start a trend there. That's great. Thank you, Joyce. Thanks.
Thank you.
You can see how I wasn't going to choose just one of those. Each one had its own thing. And Mallory, I think is with us, even though you thought you were going to have jury duty, but this was a beautiful painting.
Yes,
Mallory?
I am here.
Oh, good.
I have to call in about 10 minutes. I might have to go in this afternoon.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
I'm not great with bouquets, so I'm calling this Succulents to Art. And the title is Rooster with His Hens and Chicks.
Cute.
The painting is by Susie Skustad. She's a local Piedmont artist. And the plants, on the left, we have Sempervivum Grape Galaxy. On the right is Sempervivum Appletini. And the one in the middle, I have no idea. But this is Rooster with his little hens and chicks. So just sort of a play on words.
I like it very much, Mallory, and also how the colors are so they just perfectly go. You know, the dark gravel and the dark succulent with the darker parts of the log and the rooster, and yeah, it's very creative. I like it a lot.
Thank you.
A bouquet can be anything, as we're seeing more and more. Yeah, so thanks. So Sharda sent me these 3 photos. And Sharda, I don't know if you want to say anything. You did mention that this was, in the background, was a painting by your daughter. I'm sorry we can't see more of the painting. But then the second 2 photos are, you know, a statement of the war and the destruction of war. Oh, very moving. Sharda, do you want to say anything, or can we just enjoy it the way it is? This bouquet is really full of interesting things. And I do see the shapes in the painting, and kind of echoed by the shapes of the flowers. Yeah. The Russian war is on our minds. Landry, speaking of how a bouquet can be anything, Landry sent me these 2 photos, and at first I wasn't sure what she meant, but after I looked at it for a little while, I could see the napkin on the chair, and the napkin on the chair, and the red and white wine, and here's the red and white wine. Well, over to you, Landry.
Thank you. This is a real unusual kind of offering from me, because I love bright colors, and usually what I'm focusing on is flowers. What I kind of enjoyed about this was how opposite to type this really is. The art has all the flowers. On the table here, you will see actually there's kale in this pot. The pot is just a basket around a little container, but right in front of it, you'll notice in the picture, you have a looks like a shallow dish with food in it. So these are the only flowers in the whole thing. They represent the food. So I was kind of enjoying the play between the flowers and the rest. And of course, I bought this hanging because I was trying to establish in my whole house this theme of, oh, I don't know, the south of Italy or something like that. And my house has a lot of pieces that are kind of from this theme, but this is the most neutral one. So in creating a neutral arrangement, I'm going completely counter to type, but of course I had to have red and white wine. Those are actually not alcoholic, but it was loads of fun doing something that's just supposed to be kind of neutral.
I think it's very clever, and the window view looking out, and here's your window and the doors. It's wonderful. And wouldn't we like to be at either of those tables? They both look welcoming and beautiful.
Up and away.
Absolutely. Thank you, Landry. It's wonderful. Okay, Gillis, and I'm not sure if Ruth was involved or not, but if you want to say anything about your pieces.
Yeah, so Ruth has unfortunately had to leave to go to a doctor's appointment, but yes, she was a consultant in all of this. Okay. So this came because Martha gave us a nudge at the herb lunch meeting that we needed to put in something for this. So we came home and this was just wandered around the house. So this is a Japanese, we love all things Japanese, and this is a Japanese woodblock print. The title of the print is a view of the Jewel River. Now, in fact, the Jewel River is really only an excuse for a view of the geisha who's standing in front of it. And you can tell the Japanese are very attuned to this passage of the seasons. And you can tell that this is late autumn because of the pattern of her kimono. You can see the dried grasses and so on in her kimono. And so I wandered around the garden, and we have this little vase which is modeled of bamboo in the clay, and then I just picked some dried bamboo leaves to put in it, in front of it, to sort of echo the theme of the print.
Marvelous. The leaves and her sticky out things on her headdress, perfect too, as well as the leaves in the robe. Wonderful. I couldn't believe that I gave you a little nudge, and then within like an hour you sent me 3 slides. I was really surprised.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a little painting from a friend of ours, Tina Korsanico, when we lived in Philadelphia. And she did this little painting of cherry blossom coming into bloom. Well, we don't have any cherry blossom, of course, in our garden, but this is Camellia sassiquana fairy blush, which I thought kind of echoed the color of the cherry blossoms. And I just picked a couple sprigs of that from a bush in our garden.
Perfect color match, I think. And I also think that that sort of rustic brown vase is wonderful for the tree trunk or the feeling of it. I like that a lot. That's such a pretty camellia too.
It's a really beautiful camellia. So anyway, this was interesting. The background and unfortunately I don't remember her name, but this is from a Scottish artist who models miniature furniture out of clay. So she models little miniature bookcases and Welsh dresses and so on, and then she makes little miniature objects to go on the miniature furniture. So this is a little miniature bookshelf that she made. And on the bookshelf is a little miniature blue and white vase. Now the vase is only about 1 inch tall. So I created a bouquet for this little vase just from a single blossom of winter flowering daphne from the garden. But then to try and give Ruth looked at this and said, well, people won't see the scale, of this. So I took a little Natsuki that we have of a mother mouse with one of its little mouselings holding a peanut. And then our backyard is absolutely full of dried peanuts because one of our neighbors feeds them to the crows. So I just picked up a couple of peanut shells from the back of the garden to drop them in to try and create an impression of the scale of this little bookcase with its miniature bouquet.
Hi, Bing.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And that little Daphne bouquet, I mean, that could be a big centerpiece. I mean, the scale is hard to tell. So it's charming to have it be so small.
Good dog.
Love that bookcase. All right, Bernadette, a little whimsy. Are you still here, dear?
Yes.
All right. So I've got these two pictures, and then I've got two more pictures that show another view. But the art, the color combination. Do you want to say anything, or shall we just enjoy?
Just know that the little piece of art was a gift from a neighbor that she did. I think it's a paint by color type thing, and she gave it to us, and it hasn't left my living room since she gave it to me like a year ago. So had been planning on using R.C. Gorman artwork, and it was just couldn't get it to get my head together. And then I saw this and I said, oh, perfect. Went to Costco, picked up some flowers, had the little unicorn, tried to get it to match, tried to show his little fur on the back of his head and his tail. So that's why all the different photos. So I try to match all the colors. And then, these are daisies that are dyed because you put them in the water and the water turns purple. So just trimmed them. And then I tried to mimic the wood from my peace lilies. When they get all dried up, you pull them out. So I went and pulled out a few and stuck them in there.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah. It's wonderful. The colors, I mean, those dyed flowers and then the candy-like colors of the unicorn art, absolutely darling. I really like the whimsy of that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now that is it for our official slideshow, but I had offered that anyone who wanted to, instead of sending me a photo, could share from home, and Miss Smith, Bonnie E, said she was going to do that. So I'm sorry it's at the very end, but I didn't know a way to have the slideshow and then have something else in the middle. So Bonnie, if you are still here and ready to share your screen or live, however you want to do it. And
I'm
after,
going to share screen.
okay. And after Bonnie, anybody else who had saved their arrangement and has it on their desk or something, just let me know. We'd love to see it all. But Bonnie, whenever you're ready. Looking forward to it.
Oh, and at the Zoom meeting for the city garden club. Not for that, we can do that.
Well, thanks, Bonnie. That was really creative. So many beautiful
Thank you.
images. It was great, and you chose such really nice music, as Laura pointed out. Very healing music. It was very nice. Beautiful.
Thank you. I feel we all need some healing about right now.
Oh, don't we ever? Don't we ever? Thank you. Yes. So,
Thank you.
our remaining task is to have Barbara pull a name out of Bob's beautiful hat, of the people that participated in Bouquets to Art today. And I think she will draw some names out. And thank you so much to everybody who sent me something and participated. Everybody's so creative and inspiring.
Oh, I am very, very, very pleased with this turnout. Wonderful. And everybody has such beautiful interpretations, all their own. And it was peaceful making them. Keep making them. Good for you. Now I'm going to pick the first name out of the hat. We have put them all in this hat, and this is the first one. Catherine.
Yay! Catherine really participated a lot, not only with her arrangement, but with several paintings.
She is going to make her donation to the Richmond Food Pantry.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. Very good.
Dorothy will send a check, please, of $50 to Catherine Frost. So it's all going around. Isn't that great?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
The number two person.
All right, number two.
Oh.
Picking two names. Eileen Libby.
Yay.
Congratulations. Spend it well.
I have to cut out Flatfoot. I have to figure out where to send that money.
Oh, it's for you.
Very nice.
Very nice.
So thank everybody. It's so heartwarming to see all of you participating like this. And I hope we'll keep the participation up with people becoming officers and helpers and chairmen, because this is a great club. I love this club. And we need to keep it viable and interesting. And you all are the ones to do it. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Barb, for instituting the very idea of Bouquets to Art so many years ago, and keeping it going, you and Bob, every year. And I think everybody gets more and more creative and inspired.
I think it's amazing.
Wonderful.
I hope we can send this slideshow in for an award. If someone could look up awards and get it in by the deadline.
Maybe.
It would be nice.
Yes, we'll look into that. So thanks again, everybody who participated, and also everybody who just watched. I want to remind you that there is a board meeting next Thursday, 10 o'clock. Anybody who doesn't normally come to the board meeting is welcome. And it would be the same Zoom link you used today. And we're going to discuss all kinds of important things. So please come, and don't forget the plant sale. And Louise, did you have another announcement or comment?
Yes, just don't forget to look for Beautiful Gardens in El Cerrito and send me your nominations. And I have a poem to end with if you would like.
Oh, yes, I would like that, except Robin has a comment or question.
Okay.
And Robin,
I just wanted to make an announcement, if you didn't already do it, about the mulching work party. You did. Okay, great.
I did
Great.
announce it, but you
Okay,
can
perfect.
you can announce it again.
Well, it's just that there's in Memorial Grove, there's a lot of the redwood trees that are not doing very well. They're probably on their way to dying because of the weird weather we've been having and the drought and everything. And so Stephen Prey, the arborist for the city of El Cerrito, has organized a little work party to put redwood or put mulch underneath some of the redwood trees. And it's this Sunday from 10 to 12. And it's kind of steep there. So, you know, only only do it if you feel like you can, no pressure or anything, but I just want to announce it to everybody. Thanks.
Thank you. Yes.
Martha,
Yes.
Martha, I wanted to say thank you to Bonnie Smith for finishing the program with the blue and yellow from Ukraine around the picture. That was so beautiful and touching. Thank you, Bonnie.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. Good eye.
Thanks to everyone. And any last comments, or shall we say goodbye for now? Thank you.
Well,
all.
Louise had a
Martha's
poem.
Oh,
poem.
sorry.
Poem.
I'm sorry. Thank
Poem.
you. Thank you for keeping me
Thank you, excellent
on board.
presentation.
Louise has a poem, our poet laureate.
I have been participating in peace postcards and have written 30 peace poems on 30 different postcards and sent them to people around the country. And I have in turn received postcards of peace. So these are just two of those poems that I combined that I thought were appropriate for today. Come sit with me, my garden club friends, on this peaceful afternoon. Let us exchange stories, share rich histories. In the pastel beauty of our place, in our homes, in our gardens, let us reach out to each other in friendship. From us, may peace spread into the greater world. May the natural world that surrounds us bring peace and harmony to one and all. In contemplation of our wonders, may warriors lay down their weapons and dwell in tranquility.
Thank you, Poet Laureate.
Oh, also, I have posted on our website, elcerritogardenclub.org, a special space called Louise's Spot. And I hope to be putting in more of her poems because I did put in the one that she did.
Thank you.
Suggest.
So nice.
So website and look at Louise's Spot. I think that's what I called it. And you'll find her beautiful poem that she wrote, especially for the Ukrainian situation. So send me that copy too, so I can collect.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Thank you, Bonnie. And just a reminder to everybody that Bonnie manages our website, and I believe would always welcome any photo that any of you want to send her to include on the website. She updates it constantly with new things. So if you've got something special, I mean, Sarah could send something from El Cerrito High, or, you know, that would be really great. Some, maybe some pictures from today. Let me think about that, Bonnie.
Okay, there you go.
Final comment, may I say?
Yes, Barb.
Martha has done a magnificent time. She spent so much time on this, and she makes it for all of us. So thank you, Martha.
You're very
Thank you, Martha. It was a
very
wonderful morning.
No, it's a labor of
Perfect.
love. It's a wonderful group, and I'm thrilled to be part of it. So thank you all. Happy spring almost, and see you at the board meeting, she says, hope. Okay.
All right. Remember to change your clocks.
Oh my gosh, yes. Daylight savings. Thank you, Bonnie. It's Saturday night.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you
Okay.
all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for everything.